Good morning, everyone. Just a slight adjustment to the program. Minister Gopi Schoon is unable to attend, and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Mrs. Allen Ovid, would be delivering feature remarks. So good morning, everyone. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Mrs. Allen Ovid, Dr. Suzanne Picard, Key Coordinator of the Key Comparison Database of the BIPM, the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, Dr. Claire Sondry, President of the Inter-American Metrology System, SIM, Dr. Glenn Wilson, Mr. Glenn Wilson, Director of the Board of Directors at the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, Mr. Derek Lockhart, Executive Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, Mr. Theodore Reddock, retired Head of the Metrology Division at the Bureau of Standards, management and staff of TTBS, members of the media, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to our virtual symposium in celebration of first measurement, calibration and measurement capabilities, mass and related quantities for Trinidad and Tobago. Just to give a brief background, when we embarked on this journey to attain international recognition for our measurement capability in mass, we would have coined a phrase to encourage staff and to highlight our journey along the way. And we called it On the Road to CMCs. So we are happy that today marks a key milestone on the road to CMCs. So without further ado, I would now ask the Executive Director, Mr. Derek Lockhart, who will bring us opening remarks. Mr. Lockhart.
Thank you, Erica. Morning, everyone. All protocols observed. I am pleased to be present, albeit virtually, with you, our colleagues and friends here today at this symposium, commemorate and celebrate what is undeniably a significant milestone in Trinidad and Tobago's journey to higher level developmental status in the context of the global economy. Under the Standards Act and Metrology Acts, TTBS plays a substantive role in ensuring that our citizens and organizations operate in an environment characterized by reliability, confidence, and assurance, which we define as a National Quality System, or NQS. This NQS essentially comprises a national quality infrastructure governed by a national quality policy, the latter of which was approved by Cabinet in April 2018. It should come as no surprise to this audience that the National Quality Policy for Trinidad and Tobago 2018-30 is aligned with the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago's Vision 2030 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030. As one of the agencies charged with a lead role in supporting local socio-economic growth through the active development of the NQI, TTBS has a responsibility to balance the economic development of the nation with the welfare of its citizens through its work in the implementation of the NQP and the promotion and facilitation of a robust NQI. These key components of an effective national quality system can improve ease of doing business, increase export market access, and enhance national business productivity. The national quality infrastructure includes all systems for standardization, testing, inspection, certification, accreditation, and last but not least, measurement or metrology, all of which presently fall within the remit of TTBS. As the National Measurement Institute for Trinidad and Tobago, TTBS's role is to develop the infrastructure for the implementation of the Metrology Act number 18 of 2004, together with the metrology regulations and the quantities of goods regulations. TTBS has made a number of metrological achievements over the past 2 years, namely the achievement of the transition to the ISO IEC 17025-2017 accreditation standard, provision of local intercomparisons for temperature and electrical calibration to support and develop other national calibration labs. Under the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSSQ, TTBS was appointed as the Caribbean Reference Laboratory for humidity and pressure, in addition to its role as the call for temperature. And finally, 100% verification of gasoline and diesel fuel dispensers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, noting that CNG fuel dispensers are next on our list. Now, Trinidad and Tobago's milestone achievement of the calibration and measurement capabilities for mass has made it an even more integral part of the world measurement system, which provides a robust, internationally accepted framework within which users can have confidence in the validity and acceptability of measurement results. As I hand back over to the Master of Ceremony, it would be remiss of me not to recognize a team comprising TTBS's Metrology Division, led by Mrs. Erica Caruth, behind this remarkable accomplishment. I am continually impressed by the individual and collective passion and dedication to this science, which translates into a better Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopat. And next on the agenda, we'll now invite Mr. Glenn Wilson, who is the director at the Board of Directors at TTBS, to bring welcome remarks. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Erica. Well, we have Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Alan Ovid, in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Dr. Suzanne Picard, Key Comparison Database Coordinator, International Bureau of Weights and Measures, Dr. Claire Saundry, President, Inter-American Metrology System, Mr. Derek Lookpat, Executive Director, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, TTBS, Mr. Theodore Reddock, Retired Head, Metrology Division, TTBS, Mrs. Erica Caruth, our Master of Ceremonies or Mistress of Ceremonies, Manager, Metrology Division, TTBS, Ms. Syra Knox, Standards Officer 2, TTBS, other members of staff of TTBS, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. I bid you a warm welcome to our virtual symposium in celebration of this significant milestone for Trinidad and Tobago, the first calibration and measurement capabilities for mass and related quantities. I also extend apologies on behalf of the chairman, Mr. Lawford Dupre, who could not be with us today due to prior commitments. He sends his congratulations and best wishes. The year 2020 was indeed notable for the COVID-19 pandemic, which continues to adversely impact all the countries of the world. I am very pleased that, notwithstanding the various challenges the country and the Bureau had to face last year, TTBS can remember 2020 as the year in which Trinidad and Tobago achieved its first CMCs. This occurred on 30th December. Over the many years of its existence, TTBS has accomplished substantial growth in the areas of standards, accreditation, conformity assessment, and metrology. Today, we celebrate its latest accomplishment in the important field of metrology. Metrology is vital to almost everything: manufacturing, aviation, healthcare, technology, defense, energy, you name it. Without the correct measurements, the ability to meet consumers' requirements would not be possible. It is that science that enables production lines to produce thousands of identical pieces of sophisticated equipment. Without the standardized parts, we would not have mass production and the world would be a very different place. The evolution of measurement in Trinidad and Tobago would have started with colonial weights and measures through the Weights and Measures Ordinance of 1935. TDBS was established in 1974, and metrology at TDBS began with the installation of the metrology laboratory in the then testing division. After being under consideration for many years, legislation eventually materialized in 2004 with the passage of the Metrology Act, which provided the basis for the establishment of the Metrology Division in 2006. Although it took another 9 years before the legislation was proclaimed, it finally occurred in May 2015. A national measurement system is critical for the progress of our country and for the quality of our interface with the world. The achievement we celebrate today supports the development of our national measurement system. Over the last 5 years, TTBS has executed a series of strategic initiatives aimed at improving our capability to calibrate mass standards up to 1,000 kg. One such initiative was the construction and outfitting of the mass calibration building with a crane. Additionally, other mass standards were purchased to improve the traceability chain. Other capabilities have also been developed, more recently torque and humidity calibrations, to meet the needs of industry. We continue to enhance our existing capabilities in the other measurement areas, including temperature, dimension, pressure, and electrical. Another area of interest being pursued is the measurement of time, our vision being to have TTBS recognized as the validating authority for national time in Trinidad and Tobago in the near future. We have been engaging with key stakeholders such as the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange and the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago to bring awareness to the capability of TTBS in this regard. In closing, it should be noted that the Board of Directors has been working assiduously to provide the necessary guidance and resources to enable TTBS to support the development of a sustainable quality infrastructure for our country. From the reports provided to the board, we seem to have received in same measure from the regional and international fraternity, without which the achievement we celebrate today would not have been possible, and for which we are very grateful. On behalf of the chairman and the other directors of the board of TTBS, we join with all present at this virtual symposium today to celebrate and congratulate TTBS, and in particular, the metrology staff for this achievement. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of the morning's proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And now we will invite Sarah Knox. She is the quality manager of the testing and metrology laboratories. And she's also the CARICOM representative at the Quality System Task Force at SIM. Sarah, over to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. While I start my presentation. Hi, good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. It is my distinct pleasure to share with you the journey TTBS took to become internationally recognized for its calibration and measurement capability in the area of mass and related quantities. So the agenda is in the form of a presentation. So we're going to be looking at what is the CIPM MRA, which is basically the mutual recognition arrangement for which the CMC exists. We will then look at what is the CMC and its importance. We then look at the Institute, the intergovernmental organization who's the coordinator of the CIPM MRE, the BIPM. Then we'll go to the SIM, what is SIM, and SIM QSTF, as Erica would have mentioned, the Inter-American Metrology System. And finally, I will take you through the journey of TTBS in the achievement of the CMC. So what is the CIPM MRE? And it's basically the International Committee of Weights and Measures Mutual Recognition Arrangement. It is a framework whereby national metrology institutes such as Trinidad and Tobago under the Metrology Act number 18 of 2004 able to demonstrate the international equivalence of measurement standards and the calibration and measurement certificates they issue. So this framework provides the rules for achieving and establishing and maintaining reliable measurements. The CIPM MRE was established in 1999, and it was in response to a growing need for an open, transparent, and comprehensive scheme to give users reliable quantitative information on the comparability of national metrology services. And it is not to be kept within the country or the National Metrology Institute, but it provides the technical basis for wider agreements negotiated for international trade, commerce, and regulatory affairs. The CMC is basically calibration and measurement capability. It is the highest calibration performed by an institute according to a documented procedure, which has an established uncertainty budget under the management system of the institute, in this case, Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards. It's also not kept within the walls of TTBS. It's a calibration at the highest level of the country performed on a regular basis, and it's also available to all customers. So why would anyone, or why would a nation, a country want to achieve a CMC? It's, as I keep on saying, it's not only for the National Metrology Institute, but it provides a base and a foundation to support and strengthen the NMI's position in the national quality infrastructure, increasing trade opportunities and facilitating innovation to the market, for example. It also acts as a demonstration to be internationally accepted through measurement traceability chain, and this is done through the appropriate calibration systems. It also builds a trust and confidence for many national measuring systems. For example, in 2016, the CMC's infrastructure was already there to support the requirements for SOLAS to declare the gross mass of cargo containers. And then finally, having achieved the CMC, we are now able to declare national mass standards with demonstrated confidence of measurement as the NMI. The BIPM is the institute who coordinates the CIPM MRE and so the CMC activities. It's the Bureau International des Ports et Mesures. It's an intergovernmental organization through which member states such as ourselves and the CARICOM region act together on matters related to measurement science and measurement standards. The benefit of this membership is to attain global recognition and acceptance for measurement capabilities. We are also able to participate in activities supporting the international system of metric units, as well as be active in forums that support the development of measurement capabilities. So in addition to being a member of the BIPM, we are also members of SIM, our Regional Metrology Organization, an integrated measurement infrastructure in the Americas, and we use this in order to stimulate innovation, competitiveness, trade, consumer safety, as well as sustainable development. So on this journey, we had to go through 4 steps, right? So we took the journey. We started off by presenting our quality management system according to ISO IX 17025 to SIM QSTF. Then we had to present our technical application to the working group within SIM. Finally, on behalf of TTBS, the SIM would have presented our application to the other regional metrology organizations, of which there are 6 in total. So that SIM would have presented to the 5 other RMOs. And the final step, is that BIPM would publish our BIPM will then publish our measurement capabilities on the CIPM MRA database, otherwise known as the key comparison database. So a bit more about the body under SIM, which is responsible for reviewing and approval of quality management system. It is called the SIM Quality System Task Force, of which currently I am the CARICOM delegate on that particular body. The Quality System Task Force not only reviews and approves quality management systems, but is responsible to assess and NMI's quality management systems conformity with the CIPM MRA. But before we presented to the SIM-QSTF, we subjected ourselves to 2 peer reviews. And this was very important to get the reports from these peer reviewers in order as an application step to SIM-QSTF. So I would like to acknowledge who is on the call with us today, Mr. Luis Pena, as well as Luis Becerra, who would have been our technical peer reviewers. And the objective of this review is to review and approve TTBS's technical competence in mass calibration. And this is all against the quality management system, ISO IX 17025. Mr. Pena coming from the NMI of Mexico. Then we would have undergone a quality management system peer review. Objective again being to review and approve TTBS's quality management system here now to support the mass calibrations. So when we received those 2 reports, then we were ready to present to SIM-QSTF. This would have happened on September the 24th in 2018 at the SIM General Assembly at NIST in the United States of America, where we were successful in receiving our first certificate of approval of the quality management system for mass and related quantities. So the journey starts from here. Secondly, TTBS, under the supervision of Mr. Francis Hamilton, would have submitted documentations and relating to the CMCs to SIM, where they would have undertaken an intra-regional review. And the documentation would have been submitted to the Metrology Working Group number 7, MWG7, Mass and Related Quantities. It is important to note here, and by Francis's statement he made last year at World Quality Month, that when a country decides to go for a CMC, which is the highest calibration measurement capability that could be achieved for the nation, that we understand the needs of the nation. So it was not by chance that we would have chosen the mass and related quantities, first of all, as a scope for us to attain the CMC, but the level of E2 was very pertinent for the needs of society. After the intra-regional review, SIM, on behalf of TTBS, would have submitted the CMC application for review and approval by other RMOs, which is the regional metrology organizations. That would be AFRIMET, Intra-Africa Metrology System, the APMP, which would have been Asia Pacific Metrology Program. Our documents would have also been submitted to CUMET, Euro-Asian Cooperation of National Metrological Institutions, next Euromet, European Association of National Metrology Institutes, and finally GulfMet, Gulf Association for Metrology, SIM being the regional metrology organization to submit the CMC application on behalf of TTBS. It was finally on December 30th, 2020, that we would have received approval from the BIPM and the committee responsible for the CIPM MRA database, and our calibration and measurement capabilities would have been published on January 12th, 2021, and that is this year. So it was at a meeting held for CARICOM that we found out that we actually received approval on December 30th, as well as we received the publications on January 12th, 2021. So in closing, I know it's very strange to see a link at the final slide, but I encourage everyone to go onto the BIPM website. Please search for Trinidad and Tobago so you can see our international recognition of our highest calibration measurements, on display for anyone to see. In addition, you can also research other countries and other nations to see what other CMCs that they have published. This is just one in many to come for Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, everyone. I pass it back to the moderator, Ms. Erica Cruz.
Thank you, Sarah, for your presentation. And next on the agenda, we will now invite Mr. Theodore Reddock, retired head of the Metrology Division. Mr. Reddock would have been a pioneer in metrology for Trinidad and Tobago, and this achievement here today would have begun with the work and the foundation that he would have set out. So I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Reddock to bring a tribute to TTBS.
Good morning, everyone. Am I being heard?
Yes, you are.
Very good. All protocols observed. I'd like to say that to say that I'm happy today would be an understatement. Over the years that since I began at the TTBS and when I did my first metrology training, 31 odd years may have already passed. But I'm still having the dreams that I had at the beginning of it continue to be materialized. And strangely enough, this particular dream that I had many years ago, which has been materialized, seems to be the best of the lot. Mainly because I'm not there. And what has been demonstrated to me is that the ship of metrology development and the TTBS as a whole, continues to forge ahead, continues to progress. There have been many contributors that played important roles in bringing us to this milestone. I remember very well the fledgling cross-Q and the BIPM agreeing upon CARICOM membership of the CIPM. Actually, that document was signed in 2005 in a regional metrology meeting here in Trinidad. SIM, the regional metrology organization, and many supporting NMIs of the region, and we have gotten a lot of support from NMIs of the region. And we shouldn't forget the PTB as well as an NMI from out of the region. Even the World Bank and the government of Trinidad and Tobago, which has always supported the metrology effort. All of these entities contributed to the eventual success that we celebrate today. But of course, central to all of this was the TTBS. All right, this was the organization that we all were working within, and the center of all that cooperation that would have taken place to engender the progress in metrology that has taken place. In a way, you can say that TTBS has created the incubator into which metrology was nurtured, first as a section in the laboratory services division, and then as the metrology division as we know it today. And I think I need to spare a thought for my organization, and I still consider it my organization, the TTBS. I started here in 1987, and I retired officially in 2019. And I think that those years were years very well spent. And one of the features of that time, over that period of time, is the ability of the organization to embrace changes with all the inherent discomfort that accompany changes, and recognizing that those are necessary evils on the developmental road. When metrology came into being in TTBS all around 1983, 84, the concept of it was different. It was basically replacing the weights and measures activity that had taken place before with a more robust, well-structured type of arrangement surrounding the activities of legal metrology. That's pretty different from what we are looking at today, which is a much more holistic approach to including and engendering metrology in any important measurement that the country has to engage in, and ensuring that there's traceability and potential international recognition for those particular measurements wherever they are made. And of course, there's no blueprint for this. And often, the rules are created as you go along. But over the years, TTBS has continued to contribute to this general development, seeking to improve even as the circumstances have shifted and changes of approach have been required. It's really my hope that as the organization continues to embrace that role, and as new horizons present themselves, that there will be greater adherence to the principles, the theoretical and practical ones that must be applied in areas associated with standards and quality. Metrology has always enjoyed a special place in that plan, and I think that the present is really filled with new possibilities for more incisive interventions to create more benefits from the application of metrology in the quality infrastructure of the country within the context of the national quality system, as the director, Mr. Lokpat, touched on earlier. The opportunities for metrology continue to exist and should be embraced, ensuring that this new level of capability can influence areas like the economy, safety and health, all those areas that can benefit from the infusion of quality in measurement processes that will actually take place, that can actually take place within the country and for the benefit of the economy and the society of Trinidad and Tobago. So I just want to congratulate all my colleagues, past and present, within the Bureau, and others like myself who are no longer operating within that sphere. I want to congratulate us all for this achievement, knowing full well that it is just one in a long list to come that will signal that Trinidad and Tobago continues on its road towards development of a more stable, dependable, prosperous basis for the existence of our people and for the region as a whole. So I would like to again congratulate my colleagues, past and present, and wish TTBS and the Metrology Division all success in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Reddock, for your tribute, and we as well want to thank you for your contribution to the development of metrology in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, now I would like to invite Dr. Claire Saundry, who is the president of the Inter-American Metrology System. She's also the Director of International and Academic Affairs at the National Institute of Science and Technology, NIST, in the United States of America. So Dr. Claire, welcome, and over to you.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. All protocols observed. Good morning, everybody. It is a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate this important milestone in the history of the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, or TTBS. I really appreciate the invitation to attend this momentous occasion. As Erica mentioned, my name is Claire Saundry, and I currently have the honor of serving as the president of the Sistema Interamericano de Metrología, or Inter-American Metrology System, more commonly referred to as SIM. SIM is one of 6 internationally recognized regional metrology organizations within the framework of the Global Measurement System. The members of these regional metrology organizations, or RMOs, are the National Metrology Institutes within a specific region of the world. For SIM, that is the Western Hemisphere, and currently we have 31 National Metrology Institutes who are active members of SIM, including TTBS and my home organization, NIST. In addition to serving as the president of SIM, as Erica mentioned, I'm also the director of international and academic affairs at the National Institute of Standards and Technology in the United States. Most countries have their own National Metrology Institute, which has the responsibility of maintaining measurement standards for their nation and disseminating accurate and reliable measurements to their stakeholders. International recognition of these measurements is achieved through participation in the global measurement community, typically through the regional metrology organization like SIM. For those of us in the metrology community, measurements are always on our minds. We think about measurements in the context of just about everything: the environment and the air we breathe, our health and safety, the things we buy, the energy we use, keeping track of time, you name it. You may not realize it, but measurements play a key role in most every aspect of your daily life, from cooking to shopping to commuting. National Metrology Institutes like TTBS provide confidence that everything from grocery store scales, the electric current running into our homes, or the medical test results our lives depend on are reliable, consistent, and trustworthy. In one way or another, the measurements that underpin these important interactions and services are all tied to the work of National Metrology Institutes. In the metrology community, we often separate the types of measurement science we practice into 3 categories. Legal, being measurements related to trade and taxation, like taximeters and truck scales. Industrial, being vital to sectors of the economy, like manufacturing, interchangeable parts, and energy generation. And scientific metrology, aimed at improving measurement techniques and capabilities and advancing our understanding of the physical world. Within SIM, our mission is to promote and support an integrated measurement infrastructure in the Americas, which enables each of our member National Metrology Institutes to stimulate innovation, competitiveness, trade, consumer safety, and sustainable development by effectively participating in the international metrology community. This long process culminates in the product we have come here together to celebrate today: the international recognition of calibration and measurement capabilities, also known as CMCs. This is no small accomplishment, and the staff at TTBS should be applauded for their hard work and dedication in achieving international recognition for their CMCs in mass and related quantities. CMCs are to NMIs what Mount Aripo is to Trinidad and Tobago, a high point. The process to gain recognition is much like what I imagine climbing the summit of Mount Aripo might be like: physically demanding, mentally exhausting, and years in the making. CMCs demonstrate to the rest of the world that an organization possesses world-class expertise in providing accurate and reliable measurements. Internationally recognized CMCs and measurement science more broadly are foundational to international trade and economic development. The degree to which measurements from around the world agree with one another, an important component to the world's interconnectedness, is referred to as the international equivalence of measurements. We achieve this by participating in measurement comparisons, where measurement results from NMIs are compared to a fixed reference value. The International Committee on Weights and Measures Mutual Recognition Arrangement, or CIPM-MRA, provides the framework through which the NMIs demonstrate the international equivalence of their measurement standards and the calibration and measurement certificates they issue. The outcomes of the MRA are the internationally recognized, peer-reviewed, and approved calibration and measurement capabilities of the participating institutions, which are published in the BIPM's Key Comparison Database. Regional metrology organizations like SIM play an important role in this process, as they are responsible for organizing and conducting regional comparisons, peer reviews, and quality system reviews, which all support the confidence in the validity of the CMCs of their member NMIs. SIM relies on the support of many to make this happen, with 31 active members, 11 steering council members, including Mrs. Erica Caruth of TTBS, 14 technical working groups, and 16 members of the Quality System Task Force, and many others who contribute to this regional effort. SIM represents a community of hardworking, dedicated measurement science professionals. Through the commitment of our members and their governments, the region's national metrology institutes continue to help one another achieve remarkable advances in measurement science. Through activities like comparisons, joint research projects, training activities, and peer reviews of quality systems, SIM members are able to strengthen their existing services and develop new ones. The work done by our SIM colleagues in the Caribbean provides a great example of how a unified approach to advancing measurement science can yield results unattainable if pursued independently. CARICOM and the SIM regional group CARIMET have helped to make significant advances in metrology, accreditation, and standards development that benefit the region as a whole. But SIM's relevance is not limited to just metrology. Through partnerships with international organizations like the Organization of American States and the Inter-American Development Bank, SIM promotes developments in important areas of science and technology and raises awareness of the importance of quality infrastructure, metrology in particular, to policymakers participating in these fora. With support from the Organization of American States and the Inter-American Development Bank, SIM is playing a part in advancing technical developments in energy efficiency and renewable energy, emissions monitoring and benchmarking, emerging technologies, and medical diagnostics and equipment testing, which are relevant to the fight against COVID-19. These projects have helped our members gain valuable technical support and take advantage of capacity building opportunities to help tackle the many challenges that our region faces. These efforts also help us raise awareness of the importance of measurement science to economic development and innovation. This type of engagement allows SIM to not only elevate discussions of the importance of quality infrastructure and metrology among high-level policymakers, but also reinforces the importance of educating and engaging students and teachers. As I've already mentioned, measurements are the foundation of so much in our lives, and measurement science can be used as a tool to address many of the challenges our countries face, both individually and collectively. It is important for all of us to promote measurement science, to develop educational tools, and share information on the value of accurate and reliable measurements to everyone in our communities, from elementary school students and teachers, to university students and professors, to shopkeepers, business leaders, and policymakers. Raising awareness about the importance of measurements can have a remarkable impact on our societies. Beyond my international responsibilities, I am also proud to lead an amazing group of dedicated professionals at NIST whose jobs focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM, education and outreach. These efforts, from hands-on summer courses for middle school science teachers to opportunities for undergraduate, graduate, and postdoctoral researchers to work in the NIST facilities, yield truly positive results for our organization and our nation, while also inspiring young people to think differently about science and technology. Metrology touches on all aspects of science, from experimental physics to applied engineering. The questions metrologists are often called upon to answer require these individuals to explore math and science in creative ways, using know-how from many disciplines to address measurement challenges both big and small. In the SIM community, providing education and technical support to early career metrologists has been a key element of our efforts to improve laboratory capabilities. The SIM metrology working groups and partner-supported projects invest heavily in connecting experienced metrologists with those in the early stages of their career. These collaborations often spur new developments and innovations. SIM member NMIs have gained invaluable insights and technical expertise from the collaborations fostered by the SIM community. I have no doubt that this is only the beginning of TTBS's journey towards greater international recognition of its expertise in measurement sciences. And I know I speak on behalf of all my SIM colleagues when I say how proud we are of everyone at TTBS. On a personal note, I have been engaged in SIM for more than 15 years. In fact, my very first SIM activity was a General Assembly hosted by TTBS in 2005. I recall the music of the steel drums, a wonderful jazz singer, and a tour of the House of Angostura, as well as rum tasting. TTBS provided me personally with a very warm welcome to the SIM community. SIM will continue to support TTBS and all of our members working towards achieving both their immediate and long-term development goals. One of SIM's greatest assets is its diversity, institutes of all ages, sizes, and abilities, who help one another understand and develop strategies for success. Our strength lies in the commitment of our members, confidence in the understanding that supporting one another will benefit the region as a whole. Once again, congratulations to the TTBS team for their accomplishment and to CARICOM for supporting TTBS and the NMI community in the Caribbean. I look forward to many more celebrations like this in the future. Hopefully the next time will be face-to-face and not too long in the future. Thank you all for including me in this celebration.
Thank you, Dr. Sondri. We really appreciate your remarks from the SIM community. Okay, now we will invite Dr. Suzanne Picard from the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, who would bring remarks. And this would be followed by a video from the director of the BIPM, Dr. Martin Milton. Welcome, Dr. Picard.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Suzanne Picard. I'm the coordinator for the key comparison database in which the CMC of Trinidad and Tobago has been published. The BIPM is very happy to participate today in the celebration of the approval of the first calibration and measurement capability declared by Trinidad and Tobago, which is also the first CMC for CARICOM. I'm aware of the work and effort behind this claim to get funding, to build a suitable laboratory with adapted environment, driven by qualified staff, to work together, to interact with other institutes and state economies, and participate in a comparison, carrying out measurements at high precision to analyze the results and to get them approved, and to develop a draft a quality system and to get it peer reviewed and accepted. The CMC that you have submitted was reviewed and was approved on the 30th December 2020 on an international basis, that is for mutual recognition within the CIPM MRA community that is composed by 103 state economies distributed worldwide. The CMC data of Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards are now published in the BIPM key comparison database, the evidence for the mutual recognition. As Mrs. Sarah Knox indicated, I invite
Sorry, Dr. Picard, your mic is muted.
That's happened. When did that happen? You haven't heard anything.
We have heard quite a bit. You probably was muted for probably the last couple sentences.
Okay.
You were saying, as Sarah was saying.
Okay, thank you for telling me. I apologize. I must have been, yeah, this is the online drawbacks. I was saying, as Mrs. Sarah Knox indicated, I invite you to consult the BIPM web and the KCDB web, the Key Comparison Database web, where you may consult the data issued by Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards. The BIPM also have a training program for capacity building and knowledge transfer, which is notably sponsored by the NIST. You there have the possibility to join the online courses, trainings, and you can get there via your RMO, via SIM, and information is also available on the BIPM web pages. You have now shown that this long path has paid its fruits, and I'm sure that while you have been working towards this goal, you have learned many things during this process, not only in technique and science, but also relational and administrative issues, which I'm sure will be beneficial for future developments. So on behalf of the BIPM, I join Dr. Milton, the director of the BIPM, in his greetings and congratulate the TTBS warmly for this achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Picard. And now I will share the video from Dr. Milton, who extended his best wishes for this virtual symposium. Okay.
Hello, I'm Martin Milton. I'm director of the BIPM, and I'm very pleased to be able to send this message today when you're celebrating the first CMC, the first calibration and measurement capability at the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards. Well done to everybody. Today's achievement, which was registered officially in December last year, is actually the result of a story that started in 2005 when Trinidad and Tobago was one of the 11 countries participating in CARICOM who signed up to the CIPM mutual recognition arrangements. I'd say a little bit about the family, the wide global family that your CMC and your participation is now recognized by. The CIPM mutual recognition arrangement now involves 262 institutes, including 102 national metrology institutes in 61 member states and 41 associate states and economies. It includes 4 international organizations, and it also includes 156 designated institutes. That's a huge extent of recognition of the capability of the measurements and the certificates of the organizations within the MRA. Of course, the MRA works because it's coordinated by us in combination with the 6 regional metrology organizations. Everything that has come out of the MRA is summarized in the key comparison database available from the BIPM website. And if you looked there today, you would see that there are more than 1,600 key comparisons there, as well as more than 25,000 CMCs. And this is the grouping, the extent of recognition between the directors of national metrology institutes that we're delighted that Trinidad and Tobago is now part of. Your CMC, I know, is in the field of mass measurements from a milligram to 2 kilograms. This is one of the most widely used services amongst the NMIs. It's one of the areas where industry and trade really looks upon traceability from the NMIs and recognition of that traceability through MRA. So well done to everybody involved for the work and the achievements over the years to have your mass laboratories and their performance recognised in this way. And I finish by saying particular congratulations to Derek, Luke, Pat, your executive director, and Erica Caruth, who I know has done a lot to organise this event today. So well done to everybody for your first CMC, and I say this should be the first of many from yourselves in Trinidad and Tobago and from the other countries within HERICON. Well done.
Kate, much appreciation to Dr. Milton for doing this brief video to convey his congratulations. We now move on to our main speaker feature address, which will be delivered by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Mrs. Eileen Allen Ovid. Welcome, PS.
Good morning, all. Hope you're seeing me. I think there's some light behind me. I need to turn this way. Is it better? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Glenn Wilson, Director, TTBS. Mr. Derek Lockpat, Executive Director, TTBS. Mrs. Erica Caruth, Manager, Metrology Division, Chairperson of the Symposium. Mr. Theodore Reddock, retired, former head of the Metrology Division. Dr. Claire Saundry, President of the Inter-American Metrology System. Dr. Susan Picard, Key Comparison Database Coordinator, International Bureau of Weights and Measures. International and regional participants on the CARICOM, Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSQ. The Caribbean Metrology Institutes, the German Metrology Institute, SIM assessors, local participants and stakeholders, management and staff of TTBS, and all online viewing and listening audience, good morning to you all. It gives me great pleasure this morning to address you on behalf of the Honorable Minister Gopi Schoon, who unfortunately had to attend cabinet this morning and was not able to be with us and to participate and to deliver these remarks. And as we celebrate Trinidad and Tobago's achievement, milestone achievement of international recognition of its first calibration and measurement capabilities for mass and related quantities, I think congratulations are first in order to the Board of Directors, management, and staff of the TTBS on this accomplishment, which would have required significant work, resources, and technical competence to fulfill the established requirements. I must thank the team for their commitment and dedication in moving us through this process. I would also like to acknowledge the support and presence of the representatives of the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, Inter-American Metrology System, CROSQ, the National Metrology Institutes of the Caribbean, and other key stakeholders of Trinidad and Tobago who were also involved in bringing this process to successful fruition. In 2005, Trinidad and Tobago, along with 10 other CARICOM nations through CROSQ, signed on to the International Committee for Weights and Measures Mutual Recognition Arrangement as an associate economy. This arrangement has placed Trinidad and Tobago in an internationally accepted framework to demonstrate its equivalence of its measurement standards and calibration and measurement capabilities. TTBS has pursued and achieved international recognition for CMC in mass and related quantities by participating in the CIPM MRA. This achievement validates the capability of TTBS as a national metrology institute, as it can now declare the national standard for mass. Furthermore, laboratories supporting trade, health, environment, regulations, and industry can now easily demonstrate traceability to the international system of units. It can be said that in our everyday life, metrology is hardly visible, but its presence is far-reaching, especially during these challenging times brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. As consumers in our day-to-day activities, where measurements are a key element, we engage in a number of things, such as weighing fruits and vegetables at the market, filling up at the gas station, and we are usually unaware, that's for us in the rest of the world, quite confident that these measurements are accurate as we complete our purchases. At the level of business and trade, metrology is at the heart of global trade. For us, it ensures that products meet the required standards and regulations while supporting product innovation and process improvement. Accurate measurement is also critical for manufacturing's ability to participate in global supply chains. And this provides the assurance that the quality of goods and services produced can meet the necessary regulatory requirements. In keeping with the government's commitment to creating globally competitive businesses, the Ministry of Trade and Industry has placed priority on the implementation of the Metrology Act, which was proclaimed in 2015. An advisory committee on metrology was established under the Ministry of Trade and Industry to provide guidance on matters relating to the administration and enforcement of the Metrology Act. In this regard, the acquisition of the CMCs and mass-related quantities marks a significant step in fulfilling one of the mandates of the Act, which is the development of the National Measurement System at Trinidad and Tobago. The acquisition of the CMCs links our national measurement system to the international system and directly assures acceptance of this measurement within the metrology fraternity. I can say that the metrology services provided by the Bureau complements and supports all of the activities that are undertaken by the key players in the national quality infrastructure. And in this regard, the country's development agenda, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, in support of the country's development agenda, the Ministry of Trade and Industry through the TTBS remains committed to strengthening the country's national quality infrastructure as it creates a strong foundation for industrial development and the trade. And in this regard, in 2018, the government approved the National Quality Policy and the supporting implementation and communication plans with the overarching goal of developing a functional and effective national quality infrastructure system to support economic diversification and to increase competitiveness and productivity. The development of the National Quality Policy is aligned to Trinidad and Tobago's National Development Strategy, Vision 2030, as it is a critical component of the diversification strategy that supports the ability to attain international quality, safety, and environmental standards. And what I can say is that as recently as 1 week ago, while the government is actively implementing our national quality policy to strengthen the national quality infrastructure and improve the availability and reliability of testing and certification services, in the long term, it was recognized that in the immediate term, the cost of international certification can be high. And it is a major challenge to growing our exports and our ability for our manufacturers to meet international standards. And in this regard, just 1 week ago, as part of the Export Boost initiative of the government, the minister launched a program, the Export Booster Initiative program, one component of which is a certification program to meet international standards. And this program will assist exporters in achieving international certification in the food and beverage and other product compliance requirements to meet quality and safety standards of international markets and franchises. So therefore, the implementation of the National Quality Policy will therefore bolster the competitive advantage of our exporters, as they'll be able to differentiate their products and services based on quality, value, and innovation. This will stimulate broader market penetration and further endorse Trinidad and Tobago as a provider of quality goods and services while enhancing our trade competitiveness. In the assessment of the national quality infrastructure for the development of the National Quality Policy, it was positively noted that the legislative framework provided by the Metrology Act, the attendant regulations, and the level of services offered are indicative of a robust metrology infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. And while this achievement of the CMCs for mass and related quantities is a worthwhile, notable, and laudable achievement, there is still more work to be done. This CMCs is the first of many for Trinidad and Tobago, and the Bureau is assiduously working towards attaining CMCs in the measurement areas of temperature and dimension. And we look forward to the TTBS's continued progress in these areas. As I close, I would like to again extend congratulations to the TTBS on this achievement and reinforce the ministry's commitment toward the creation of a strong quality infrastructure in support of a diversified and competitive economy. I look forward to working with all of you to promote a culture of quality in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. I thank you.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary Eileen Ovid, for your feature address. And participants and facilitators, we would have done extremely well for time. We are coming to a close of this morning's virtual symposium, and I have the distinguished honor of doing the vote of thanks. So I'm going to share my screen and roll the credits to all who would have contributed to our achievement this morning, and of course to this virtual symposium. We want to convey our heartfelt thanks to you. So, firstly, to our Minister of Trade and Industry, Senator the Honorable Paula Gopi-Schoon, who couldn't be with us today, and of course to Permanent Secretary Mrs. Ovid for all your support in terms of the development of the quality infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course the support provided to TTBS and all the other contributors and representatives here today from the Ministry of Trade. We extend much appreciation to you. To Dr. Suzanne Picard, the KCDB Director, thank you for delivering remarks today, and thanks, please convey thanks to Dr. Martin Milton for his video and sharing his congratulations to us. To Dr. Claire Sondry, our SIM President, and of course by extension the SIM family, for all your support in our development, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but the region as well. To Mr. Glenn Wilson and the chairman and the other directors of the TTBS Board of Directors, we want to extend our thanks to you for your support. Mr. Theodore Reddock, retired head of the Metrology Division, again, thank you for being with us today. And of course, thank you for your support and your contribution. And together with you, the other past employees of the Bureau who would have contributed as well to the development of the measurement system. To CrossQ and Carimet, our colleagues, thank you to you as well for your support. And in this journey, we are developing together, so we really appreciate your support. To all the participants here today who joined us, took the time out, all our stakeholders, the media, we want to thank you for joining us today. Past members of staff who would have contributed to the development of metrology in Trinidad and Tobago, we want to give our thanks and thank you for your support and contribution. Of course, to our Executive Director, Mr. Derek Lockpat, and the management and staff of TTBS, thank you for your support. The marketing unit as well for the support in executing this virtual symposium. And to the Metrology Division, all the staff of Standards and Calibration Unit, and the Legal Metrology Inspectorate, we take this opportunity to highlight all the work that you do and your contribution to measurement in Trinidad and Tobago. To our peer assessors, Dr. Silvio dos Santos from InMetro Brazil, our quality management system assessor, thank you for your support and contribution. To Mr. Luis Manuel Pena from CINAM, Mexico, our technical assessor, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to you as well for your contribution, and of course to Luis Manuel Becerra for your support as well. And to the MAS team who would have worked hard in terms of achieving this CMC, Mr. Nigel Cujo, Mr. Ritson Yearwood, Mr. Nicole Bess, Mr. Frederick King, Francis Hamilton, Sue Durga, Syra Knox, and Aliyah Mohammed. Hats off to you. And of course, the journey continues because having attained international recognition, we now have to maintain it. But congratulations for all your hard work. And thank you To everyone joining us today, we appreciate your attendance, your participation. And to close, we'll now invite Mr. Derek Lockpart, who will give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Erica. And just before I close, I do one thing I appreciate, I've come to appreciate over the couple of years I've been with the Bureau, is a true family atmosphere in the metrology community. It speaks highly to the quality and the commitment and camaraderie amongst the persons and those who represent the organizations here today, and how they work together towards the mutual benefit at a global level. So given the fact that the accuracy of national measurement systems has a significant impact on national development, trade competitiveness, and socioeconomic health, TTBS is appreciative of the long-standing and ongoing support from its key stakeholders, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, through our line ministry, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, as well as BIPM, SIM, and CrossQ. Despite the current disruption to the global, regional, and local economies, the importance of the national quality infrastructure, of which metrology plays an integral role, does not decrease. Rather, it can be proven that the NQI performs an even more important role during economic downturns and recovery efforts. As was stated by our PS, through TTBS, Trinidad and Tobago's journey to even higher levels of measurement traceability will continue beyond mass and related quantities in the fields of temperature, dimension, and electrical CMCs targeted over the coming years. Notwithstanding its growing contribution to the national quality infrastructure, TTBS cannot develop the national quality system on its own. Key stakeholders across the public sector, private enterprises, academia, and even NGOs play a crucial role in ensuring that our individual and collective efforts to support, stimulate, and sustain socioeconomic growth within the context of a competitive landscape is balanced with quality, accuracy, and transparency. And in closing, TTBS looks forward to the continuation of this progressive working relationship with our key stakeholders in the interest of national development, industrial welfare, and public safety. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lockpart, and to all our participants today and facilitators today. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that we would have a celebration, hopefully in person next time when we celebrate another CMC achievement. Do enjoy the rest of your day and see you sometime in the future. Goodbye.